Thank you for your interest in Vectorworks Spotlight. There's a lot to discover, and while we won't get a chance to go over everything, you should get a good idea of how Vectorworks Spotlight can transform and enhance your workflow. Vectorworks Spotlight uses a system of both standard and uniquely specialized tools and menu commands to allow you to create almost anything that you can imagine. This includes everything from basic drawing tools for creating simple 2D lines and shapes, to more focused tool sets geared towards advanced modeling, planning for lighting, cable, rigging, video, audio, staging, and even seating. The workspace is highly customizable, allowing you an enormous amount of flexibility in accessing the tools and menu commands that you're going to use most often. The Object Info palette allows you to access information about an object in the drawing without having to dig through a lot of submenus. And with the Navigation palette, you can organize your classes, design layers, viewports, sheet layers, and saved views, as well as your reference files. Let's start a project from scratch so we can see how it all works. To begin, we're going to import a file. It could be an MVR, a DWG, or a PDF. We can also set up a reference file, which can keep your document organized and neat. A template file will give you the ability to store things that you use frequently, like your classes, design layers, sheet layers, and title blocks. Or you can do a project from a project sharing file. So let's go ahead and get started. For this example, we're going to start by creating the venue. We'll begin by importing this DWG. Now we can use some shape tools to quickly create the room layout. Next, we'll use the door tool to add in some doors. And finally, we'll create a model of this air wall support, make a symbol, and then quickly finish out the rest of the room. Let's take a look at some of the modeling tools found in Vectorworks Spotlight. Spotlight uses the Siemens Parasolid engine. With this engine, you can take any 2D object and extrude it into a three-dimensional object. And with the tab and floating data bar, you're able to enter in precise dimensions. We offer other tools like a deform, taper face, hemisphere, a loft surface, and even a subdivision modeling system to give you the power to create elaborate models. Now that we have the room laid out, let's take a look at adding other elements. We'll start by creating a stage. Starting with a rectangle, we can use the Create Stage command tool and add a stage to the room. With the Truss tool, we can quickly lay out the truss for the document. With the truss in, we can now add the hoist with the hoist tool. Once we've selected the hoist we want to use, set the preferences for labeling, we can hover over the truss, and as you can see, I get a connection highlight showing where I can attach the hoist. Then we just click to insert. And while you won't need it in this example, Spotlight also offers a bridle tool. With the bridle tool, you can create a 2, 3, or 4-point bridle. If you need to build a subgrid, you can quickly add hoists by going to Spotlight, Rigging, and Insert Drop. This will automatically insert drops at the connection points. The heart of Spotlight is the lighting device tool. We can select from thousands of different fixtures from many different manufacturers. Here we can set the modes and our numbering preferences. To add a fixture, we can click on a rigging object like this truss or a pipe, and as you can see, we automatically get this highlight. When we click to insert, it understands that it's attached to the truss, and we can see it's already taken the height. This also works for stage decks. We can follow the same steps. We just click to insert, set the rotation, and we have our fixture on the deck. Now that we have our fixtures in the system, we can go ahead and take a look at our DMX patch. We just go to the DMX patch window, and here we can see if there's any issues. We can find different lights in the drawing, and with the Find Next Conflict, we can highlight any issues that we have. The graphical display shows that we have an overlap here. I can click and drag and move the light over, and we fix the issue. Clicking OK sets the system, and we're ready to go. There are a few options to quickly focus fixtures, either via the Object Info palette with the pan and tilt fields, the Focus Lighting Device along Path tool, or by going to the Spotlight menu and choosing the Focus Lighting Device command. This dialog allows you to quickly set a focus and even fan fixtures like you would with a regular lighting console. By creating focus points, this will allow you to set any fixture to that focus point to give you more freedom when you're doing your renderings. Now that we have lighting wrapped up, let's go ahead and take a look at adding in some audio. Spotlight comes with a speaker tool as well as a speaker array tool. The speaker tool allows you to add in individual speaker objects for something like a distributed system. In the object info palette, we can select a symbol and enter any pertinent information. The speaker even shows a dispersion pattern. Let's go ahead and turn it on and take a look at our seating section. Here we can see our coverage in 2D, and by rotating to an isometric view, we can see that we're pretty much hitting all the seats on the floor. Here's a different example. In this file, we can see an audio array. By clicking on the bumper, we can go to the Configure Array dialog to set up what the array actually is. Here we can select the type of bumper we want to use, either a custom one or from a symbol. We can choose up to 3 different speakers. For this example, we'll just choose 1. And finally, we can set information like the angle of the array. We can look at the dispersion areas here in a top view and then an isometric view to see how much of the field is covered. Let's take a look at some of the video tools. We have a television, a video screen, blended screen, as well as an LED screen. Here's the television object. This one is set up as a confidence monitor. We can go ahead and change its resolution, change its size, and see the coverage zone, just like you did with the speaker tools. We can adjust the image on screen by clicking the Edit Screen button and select a different image. Let's choose a different color logo. We'll go ahead and choose the one with the black background and go ahead and click OK. We can see that it's updated. Now let's take a look at a regular video screen and projector. Here we can see all of our frame information, show the coverage zone, what kind of screen support, edit the screen image, choose what kind of projector we want to show in the document, and choose whether that projector is placed by the lens type or by the distance. We can also set up our projector to be rigged, on a stand, aligned to a specific part of the screen. We can even show multiple projectors. Upstage, we have a blended screen. This one here is set up to be front projected. We can see the different width values for them. We can even show the coverage zones just like all the other tools. The last video tool I want to talk about is the video camera tool. This tool has 3 parts, allowing you to test different types of lenses, camera bodies, and stand setups. By activating the camera tool, we get a nice blue bar all the way around. This tells us exactly what is going to be going out to our screens or to broadcast. There's a great deal of flexibility and control both with the focal length and the angles. This is quite handy when planning out an event with different camera positions to make sure they're going to work when you're on site. We can choose different body and lens combinations till we get it right. Here's another camera with a reverse shot. This camera has a 50-135 lens. When we activate the camera, we can see that in this reverse shot that we can get the room, and it looks pretty good. We know that the rig's not going to be in our shot. Now let's explore some of our other room design tools like our seating section, aisles, soft goods, and rope and stanchion tool. We'll switch to a more simplistic plot for this. With our seating section tool, we can create a styled or unstyled seating section from either a chosen shape in the document or draw our own shape. The seating area is customizable for different chairs, special angles, and more. The aisle tool works with the seating section. You can see here that when I update one, the other automatically updates. Now let's take a look at the soft goods tool. This tool allows you to add a curtain, border, or pipe and drape. I'll go ahead and set it to pipe and drape, and we'll set our height to 12 feet. We can select what type of base plates we want, as well as determining whether we're going to attach them to the inside or to the outside of the plate. With the 3D options, we can set different color or texture options. Finally, let's check out the rope and stanchion tool. In the object info palette, we can see that it's set to be a tension belt. We can go ahead and change this to be a rope. We can also change the post to be a simple, crown, or a ball top. We can also change the 3D options for the plates, posts, belts, belt clips, ropes, top caps, and chains. Since Vectorworks Spotlight offers tools for just about every single department, this is where project sharing can come in really handy. We are able to set up a main project file and then allow others to work with us on the file at the same time. Adding users is pretty easy. Just add their username, the actual name given to their computer. We can give them a color code to quickly identify who it is that's making changes, and we can even set their permission levels. Finally, we'll choose the preferred backup settings. Now that we understand the basics of the drawing and getting a project's file set up, let's go ahead and discuss the documentation system in Vectorworks. The data tag allows you to display information for any object in the drawing that has an attached record. You can set them up one by one, or you can find all objects in the document that have a corresponding record and they'll be automatically attached. Data visualization allows you to quickly find objects that meet a specific criteria. Here we can choose any part of a record. For the lights in this document, we're going to color code them by the universe given. This is handy for spotting errors and communicating information to your crew. So now that we've gone through how to set up a drawing from start to finish, we still need to get this information out to our clients and crew on site. So let's take a look at one last example file. Here we have our sheet layers with our viewports. This is where all the information goes to communicate vital parts of the system and provide renderings to the client. Viewports are like windows into different parts of the document that are placed on the sheet layers. We can also add in hyperlinks to other parts of this document, files on a hard drive, or to the web. We can create a simple OpenGL concept rendering that can give the crew on site an idea of the end goal. And with the Cinema 4D render engine, we can give a much nicer photorealistic rendering that we can send off to clients to get their input or approval on. We can also add detailed worksheets providing system trim information, truss size, and a breakdown of just about any data attached to any object in the document. All of our lighting information is included, what fixture types, how many, even fixture IDs, and channel and unit numbers. We can even create detailed worksheets that can be placed on the drawing like in this example, or printed directly from the worksheet commands. We can even export these to an Excel file. Data visualization can also be used in viewports. Here we can see an example of where we have fixtures sorted by type and by universe. I also wanted to take just a moment to show you Braceworks. This is a different module in addition to Spotlight that allows you to test the viability of your system and send it to a structural engineer. These reports show you the hoist and truss workloads and if any of them are overloaded. I hope you have a better understanding of the basics of what Spotlight can do for you. If you'd like more information, please let us know and we can set up a live demo, or we can send you an example file to play around with. You can also visit the Vectorworks University or our YouTube page for more detailed workflow examples.